if I had to ballpark everything, I would say that the difference between my car at this moment with all the modifications and a stock RT would be basically holds a butt there, huh? Yo, man, all I heard was whoa. Alright guys, so we're going to talk about the dyno, and this is a topic that many of you guys have been waiting for, and I'm doing this video in one take. Mess ups, doesn't matter. And it's going to be lengthy too, because I'm going to explain, you know, each of the dyno runs and before and after the headers and the Greene tune. Now, 2 cars hopped on the dyno. It was myself and Growl's Garage. Both of us have J Greene tunes. Actually, before I jump into the dyno, I just want to say an amazing group of people showed up at that meet. You guys are awesome. For many of you that traveled, whether it was 2 hours or 1 hour, all the way to 12, 13 hours, I really want to thank you guys for coming, hanging out, and just having a blast. Everybody that was there just were awesome. So easy to talk to. And, you know, it's hard for me to you know, make my way and talk to everybody, because when these events happen, I just want to capture so much of the craziness that happens, because even though, you know, we're there, we're talking, we're having fun, it is still so awesome to, you know, listen to these Hemis just screaming down roads and doing burnouts. And, you know, as a content creator, you don't want to miss those moments. So it's very difficult for me to, you know, just stop and talk about someone's build. Even though I want to, it's so cool to see what modifications you guys are doing. It's hard for me to do that because these meets are so much fun. And so many people do some crazy stuff, and you try and get it all on film. So really, thank you so much to all those people that made their way and hung out. You guys are dynamite. And there was no shenanigans, no fights, no drama. And you know, that's the way I like it. So kudos to all of you guys. You guys are a great group. So now let's talk about the dyno. Myself and Growl's Garage hopped on a dyno. Both of us have J Greene tunes. Now Growl has a 392.
Two more, brother, and then.
All right.
Yeah, that was the worst ever.
Wow.
Come on, Roger. 150.
in torque. 437. 437.
All right, 437 and 450 in torque.
Challenger, and his modification list consists of a Borla Cat Pack exhaust, 3-inch piping. He has a LMI legmaker cold air intake with a BBK Throttle body and the Greene Tune with 315 tires. He hopped on the dyno, and his numbers were very impressive. 430, I think it was 35 or 38 wheel horsepower, that's pretty badass. And 450 something in torque. So, you know, that car is making some power. So, then I jumped on the dyno.
There you go. You want to get?
And we're gonna go over my first dyno run. That was a few months back. So my first dyno run, I had a cold air intake, the Corsa. I had flowmaster 40s, resonator delete, 315s, and the Scat Pack Stage 1 PCM, which is essentially just a more aggressive tune than the stock one that comes factory. And that dyno run was 341 wheel horsepower. And I was looking at the torque readings, and when I was making my videos, I said that the torque readings were not accurate enough for me to really report back. But after looking at the charts and etc., I'm ballparking that I was in the neighborhood based off of, you know, those runs and stuff, around 370. Okay, so it was 341 and 370. That's what I can ballpark with that setup. Since that first run, what I've done is put shorty headers on there, hooker shorty headers, and I've upgraded the Scat Pack Stage 1 PCM with a Diablo PCM with a Greene tune on it. So when I did my first dyno run, I wasn't stock, and when I did my second run, all I added were shorty headers and upgraded the tune. So now when I hopped on the dyno, my numbers were 353 wheel horsepower, which is a gain of 12 wheel horsepower. So at the crank, you're talking 20 plus, and in torque, 391. So 20 something in gain of 20 something in torque. So, you know, overall, the addition of the shorty headers and the Greene tune has certainly given this car a bump. And if I were to have, I wish I would have jumped on the dyno before I did any modifications. It would have been cool to see this car bone stock on that dyno to see, you know, what it was making before I touched the damn thing. But if I had to ballpark everything, I would say that the difference between my car at this moment with all the modifications and a stock RT would be basically about 30 wheel horsepower. With everything that I've done to the car, I've gained about 30 wheel horsepower from a stock RT, and I've gained a shit ton in torque. I believe I'm in the ballpark of 50 plus in torque to the ground. So, you know, all in all, the current setup is the shorty headers by Hooker, Flowmaster 40s, resonator delete, Corsa power core cold air intake, a Diablo tune, a Diablo T2 with a J Greene tune, and 315s in the back. And that's my current setup. That's what you guys can kind of ballpark expect if you were to go down this road. Did I expect bigger gains? Absolutely. 100%. With all the elements that are currently in place, I thought for sure I would probably be 400 wheel horsepower, but you have to be impressed with that torque figure. I mean, with the current setup that I have, man, this thing is a torque monster. And when I was driving a few people around Daytona 5.7, and I met a couple of gentlemen that I took for spins. One of them included Fila Hemi Life, and big shout out to you. It was awesome hanging out with you, and thank you for making the drive. But I took him out, and I think he was rather impressed with all three were very impressed with the torque on the car. You step on the gas and man, this sucker will go sideways. So that's what I have to say about my current situation with this car. Though in regards to the dyno and the horsepower that was gained and everything, still I have no regrets about the shorty headers, because I will at some point get a dyno tune, and that's kind of where you really should go. They do revisions, and you get up on the dyno and they start adjusting the parameters and such. So I think if I were to have gotten a dyno tune, I probably would have seen maybe an additional 5 to 10 wheel horsepower added to the car. So the overall numbers would have looked a little bit more impressive, most likely. So hashtag no regrets. Ugh, who says hashtag no regrets?